Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Girls Who Eat, Drink and Dream Motorsport. I'm Jamie, I'm your host, and today I'm joined by Matias. Normally I pronounce everybody's full name, but I don't want to mispronounce your name. So welcome Matias. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for letting me here. Glad to be here and happy to share what's the people ask me on the social network.
I know who you are and what you do, but maybe my listeners don't. So who are you and what is your role in motorsport?
Yeah. So starting from the basics, I'm Matias. Spanish engineer working in UK for Mahindra Racing. I'm systems engineer, let's say lead trackside systems engineer at Mahindra. And why I'm keen on motorsport? I've been all my life very close to cars. I've born in an environment where cars were like the main thing. So it's kind of came from from when I was a child. I really enjoyed cars. I was working with them since I was a child. Yeah, since I've born, I'm really keen into cars. And then into motorsport it came like naturally. Like if you like cars, then you like motorsport and you like racing. So yeah, it came since I have since I have a notion of myself.
My next question is Formula E has a shorter season. Some of the drivers combine it with like series like REC, and I also know that like some other personnel do that as well. Do you do that as well, or is Formula E your only series you work in?
Yeah. So some quite a lot of drivers do that, and like in some let's say lower level categories, there are a lot of engineers that combine some categories. Like it's normal that you see an engineer, race engineer doing, for example, a PCR or doing some sort of GT World Challenge and combining them. But for myself, it's Formula. It's quite demanding, and it's like the same as you go to F1 or WEC. It's quite demanding, and they require most of the engineers to be full time. So yeah, I'm just only doing Formula.
Formula One, you hear people always talking about how much they are away from like family or friends. How is it for you in Formula E?
Yeah, so it's a bit less demanding on that side because obviously we have 16 races, but it's only 12 events if I'm not wrong. So you are only traveling 12 times per year to doing races, as you compare it with F1. You are doing 24 races, so it's less demanding on that side. But I have to say that yeah, for doing FE or F1, you need to live in the UK. Most of the teams are in the UK, so I'm not a British, of course. So yeah, you need to live abroad. So it's quite demanding on that side as well. But of course, less races than F1 allow me to go more to Spain than for example if I were be doing F1. So yeah, it's difficult to combine sometimes, but yeah, you can do. You can still have your family and see them quite a lot and do the whole calendar of Formula E.
What does a normal race weekend look like for you?
So this can be quite long. So we start like the weekend actually on the first day of the week. So we start traveling on Monday or even the Sunday before. We go there. We normally have one day to spend our time our own to rest from the travel. This year Formula E has not many races in Europe, so most of the time we have like 10, 14 hours flight. So yeah, we have one day off to rest and to recover from jet lag from the travel and everything for the flight. After we go to the track, Formula is quite special because of the people that can go to the track. We only have 40 passes, while for example in F1 they have quite a lot more. So they have two teams, one for building the garage and one the actual team. That's not the case in FE. So engineers and mechanics that are working on the weekend need to build up the garage. We go on Wednesday to the track, normally midday. We build the garage, we set up the cars, we make sure that everything is in place, everything is working. And yeah, we left the track early on weekends, so it's quite a soft day, let's say. But then everything starts on Thursday. We go to a track and we have all Thursday to make sure that the cars are ready, the data is properly, let's say, checked. We have everything up to speed to start running on Friday. So we prepare the cars, we prepare the data, we prepare our strategy, everything to start running on Friday. Friday, as I said, we start running. We have first of all the track walk in the morning, so we go around with the drivers. We sometimes have some some discussion on if the curve is higher than what we expected from the deal or from the simulator. So we found sometimes quite a lot of discrepancies. Yeah, we start running FP1. We have just the FP1 on Friday. We, of course, analyze the data, make sure that the car, everything is working fine. All the check has been done. We do our shutdown of the car. Engineers in the office work like to check everything. All the settings are properly done. Yeah, with this data, we go to Saturday. We don't have many time because we start FP2 like early in the morning. Then we go straight away to qualifying. 2 hours later, we go to a race. So basically, we have only the Friday afternoon after the FP1 to properly analyze the data and to come up with any changes that we want to do for the race. Because yeah, on Saturday everything is happening quite quickly, and we don't have much time to think. So yeah, that's more or less the weekend. After the race, we always need to pack up, to undo all the garage, to put everything back into the boxes. It's quite a long day. We start normally like at 5, 6 in the morning, and then we end up like very late in the day, like it's quite a long day on Saturday. And then usually on Sundays, if we don't have any back-to-back race or double header, we fly back on Sunday, or if we have a double header, we have another race on Sunday, and we have the exact same day as Saturday, but double, and then we end up back at Disney on Sunday. So yeah, if it's a double header, it's quite demanding.
I can imagine. I remember when I was in London last season, like we on the Sunday we walked out of the media center at like I think 7 or 8, and then we still had like to eat something, and
Yeah,
I went back on Monday, so also packing.
at the end of the day, on Sunday is quite everyone wants to pack as quick as possible, and sometimes like you end up with some kind of a mess in the middle of the pit lane. So it's quite fun.
I mean, I always think it's worth it, but like after like a long weekend, like in London, I was like, I'm happy that I can like go back home and just rest again.
Especially can get quite hard whenever you have like a bad weekend or you have a bad Sunday. You end up like maybe crashing the car, and then you need to back up, and then you just don't want to do it, and then you want to go home as soon as possible.
Yeah. You obviously work with drivers. Are there any driver interaction that you loved and you can talk about?
Yeah, well, I quite enjoy. I'm obviously systems engineer of Edo of Edo Motara, and I quite like the way when he had like a good qualifying, a good race, or a good well, especially a race or qualifying. When he jumps out of the car, I quite like the reaction because he's quite passionate about what he's doing, and he's quite like he express his feelings. So yeah, I always jump to him to give him a huge and just to hear him. But yeah, I really like how Edo comes up as well on the radio. Sometimes could be very very cheeky, let's say. It's very fun to hear him on the radio, and especially when he have a good race, good qualifying when he comes out of the car. It's that special that moment because at the end you are very close to me in that case. I'm very close to him, and it's the first person or the second person that sees after he jumps out of the car, so it's quite special that moment.
What is your favorite series of racing that you follow?
Well, I will not say that Formula E is not the top one. Of course,
I mean, I'm biased as well. I always say like Formula E is like up there.
to be fair and to be honest, I'm not following a lot of motorsport. At the end, you get used to it. Maybe when I was like a bit more child and I was following a bit more racing series. So to be fair, now I'm following I'm watching just F1. Apart from FE, which is obvious, I'm watching just F1.
Do you have any goals regarding your future in motorsport?
Yeah, of course. Like you always want to be to achieve a bit more, to go somewhere else that it's a bit higher or whatever. I'm quite happy what I'm doing now. Let's see what's the future comes up with. Quite happy now. I want to keep doing FE until Gen 4 because I feel that it's gonna be uh, quite a big step from Gen 3.5. So we're gonna have active differential. We're gonna have like full front powertrain. So it's gonna be a quite interesting car to work with. Yeah, for the moment, I'm really happy doing FE. But yeah, we'll see with what the future come up with.
What is the best advice you have ever gotten?
Just follow your passion. If you want to achieve something, no matter how many times you fall down, just keep learning from your faults, from your errors. Keep pushing, keep following your dreams, and you will achieve it at some point. That's the best advice that I can give to someone, and the best advice that I had in the past from someone.
Is there someone you look up to? If so, who is it and why?
Yeah, kind of. So when I was working in Spain, when I just finished my degree and master, I had a really good teacher there that came up being at the end my manager. The same company I did my master. So I feel like him is the model to follow. Done a lot of racing series. What it's more impressive for me is like he's able to do from racing engineer to systems engineer to performance engineer to controls engineer. So it's able to do whatever on the motorsport world. So yeah, that's kind of my model to follow. And always when I have anything, when I need to ask for some advice, I go to him and ask like, what will you do in that situation? And always he's keen on helping me. So yeah, this guy is very special for me. So yeah, let's say that's my model to follow. That's the path he follows. It's the same path I'm following.
Do you have tips for people who want to do what you are doing right now?
Uh, yeah, it's more or less what I've said before. Is just follow your dreams, follow your passions. Of course, you want to be on the let's say higher level of motorsport. You need to be here in UK, and if you are not British, you need to learn the language. That's key. So first of all, yeah, learn the language. Then follow your dreams. There's always ways to come here. There's not only one path that you need to follow, and yeah, there's thousand ways to come here. So yeah, just follow the dreams. Like keep doing what you like to do, and suddenly you will be here. It's not something that it's not achievable.
I have 10 followers questions. The first
Go
question
ahead.
was, what is one item or tech thing you can't live without at a race?
Wow, being systems engineer, you have like quite a long checklist. There's no one specific item that you cannot miss because you cannot miss anything. Otherwise, the car will stop on track or will be your fault for sure. And obviously, the first thing, once I've heard that to finish first, you first need to finish. So you cannot miss anything. You need to. We have a very specific checklist, very systems one, and you need to do it completely from the A to Z. So yeah, you cannot. Let's say
You cannot miss anything.
yeah,
What is the unexpected challenge? Is the unexpected challenge you have faced during a weekend, and how did you solve it?
quite a lot. I have quite a lot in the past, to be honest. Yeah, same. Being systems engineers is that means that you are the guy that look after the health of the car. So some point something could go wrong, and then you end up with the car taken apart and try to find what's causing the issue. From changing the battery before qualifying, like 30 minutes before qualifying, changing the complete rear powertrain because of an issue. Um, yeah, we have this kind of thing every single weekend almost. So yeah, you need to be prepared. Obviously, you need to take decisions very quickly, and sometimes they are not the correct decision, but it's an environment where you are very time limited. You need to make decisions quickly, and sometimes you end up not doing the correct choice. But it's something that we need to live with, and yeah, we need to be as most prepared as we can to to make the decision spot on, get the car on track as soon as possible. But we have quite a lot of funny stories from almost every single weekend.
I can imagine.
it's funny because like we live in two different worlds. If you compare systems engineer to the rest of the engineers, because actually we are the only engineers that are in front of the garage, the only engineers that are working with the car directly. And while the rest of engineer, performance engineer before the session, they are like taking a coffee or just chatting, just seated on the background. We are quite on the flat out time trying to get the car ready. So yeah, it's quite funny.
For me, is a fast changing technology like series. How do you stay ahead of the curve?
Quite at the end you live in that world, and then you have all the information from the very beginning. So it's quite easy to stay up with the speed of Formula E. It's quite it's changing quite a lot. If you just look at the first generation Formula E car, it's very different. But we have one here and one Gen 2 right there. It's quite different from one generation to another in terms of technologies. Especially if you compare Gen 3.5 to the rest. But at the end, you live in that world, so it's your day by day work. You're getting information from a lot of sources. You just stay up because you are in you are in the mess. There's no specific way to. Obviously, you need to keep learning, and you need to keep improving yourself and all that stuff. When it comes to this, just to getting information from everyone, and then you are up with this.
How did you start working in motorsport, and how much of what you do on a day to day basis have you learned from school versus what you picked up after?
So I will start with the second question. From what I've learned in the school or my degree, I'll say nothing, but I can explain that. Basically, what I think is that the university feels you to get the knowledge quickly and to find yourself solutions. It's not like the knowledge that you are acquiring. Of course, you are acquiring some knowledge, but also your soft skills that you are getting there to find yourself solution when you need to. So there's not much that I learned from the university. Obviously, if you are doing a motorsports master, you will learn a lot more related with motorsports. At the end, it's very if you're doing some sort of performance in F3, for example, which is you need to know the vehicle dynamics, and then you will work with the vehicle dynamics. But for example, in systems, it's very different because at the end no one will teach you how an front powertrain works. No one will teach you how a brake-by-wire works. So at the end, it's something that you get when you are in the work. But yeah, it's you need to know the basics, and then the rest you will get once you are there. And then also it's a process. You will not arrive into motorsport and then you will straight away go to trackside in systems or performance or whatever. It's a learning curve. You probably will be starting as an intern. You will be doing a step by step, a bit more and bit more and bit more, and then you will get the whole picture. The Yeah, if someone is keen into let's say performance or race engineer, the basics are out there in many books. But if you want to be like systems engineer, for example, or controls engineer, you will be learning once you get there. And coming back to the first one, how I head into the motorsport, it's fun enough. I'm telecommunication engineer. I have quite a lot of base of electronics, programming, and all that stuff. I was working in telecommunication world, but then I decided that was not my thing, and I decided to move to Barcelona to study the motorsport. And once I get there, basically it was like I feel like it was like a test for everyone that was there because it was done by a company, a private company. It was they were trying to recruit people and new engineers. So obviously the better ones uh, will be joining the company at some point. So that was my case. I started the master, then I finished and I started an internship in the same company. I started doing controls engineer, doing some projects for rallycross cars and some yeah, mainly rallycross cars. Then I started my own path doing some karting. So I was data engineer for the tiles in karting. Funny enough, it's where I learned the most, I would say, because you have almost no data and you need to figure out from the data you have what the issues on the card and from the feeling of the, for example, 14 years old guy with very poor, let's say they are building themselves as well. You need to figure out where you can improve and what you can change on the car to improve the behavior and the performance. So it was quite fun. I learned a lot. I learned the basics and I learned to get the most of very low data. Yeah, I started doing karting.
Where everything starts, even the drivers. How do you manage the stress and the pressure of a live race, especially when something goes wrong in real time?
It's quite hard. I think you just live with it. You cannot be calm in a situation where it's very demanding for you or you are very time limited and you need to make a decision and needs to be the correct one. Just live with it. Obviously, that's something I said to a lot of people. Motorsport is not for everyone. Well, I would say trackside motorsport is not for everyone. You need to be able to live with the stress. You need to be able to live making decisions in last minute and being sure that there will be the correct decision. There are some people that, for whatever reason, they cannot deal with that. But there is also space for those people if they still want to do motorsport. Because there's a lot of people designing on the factories. So if you want to go to, for example, F1, there's still a lot of people designing aerodynamics or designing the complaint of the car or the vehicle dynamics, and there's thousands of people in the factories designing and doing stuff. So there's still place for them. But yeah, trackside motorsport is very different. It's just very demanding. It's very stressful. You just need to live with it.
I think this kind of the same question as the unexpected. Expected. What is the most bizarre or surprising thing you have witnessed while troubleshooting a system on race day?
I mean, everything is very unexpected. There's not something that you will expect, because if you expect, you just take action before it happens. So for this, things unexpected. But yeah, I can remember one situation when I was just charging the car, and we know that the batteries are very new in technology, and they try to push hard the limits of the battery to develop also technology for road cars. So they are like yeah, quite complicated to work with. Yeah, I was just charging the car, and like 20 minutes before the session, the charge stopped, and the car, well, the battery was not alive anymore. So it was kind of unexpected because everything was going right, but yeah, sometimes you cannot see the future, and you cannot see what's gonna happen. Yeah, you just after that you run to change the battery, and then you pray to get the car ready before the session.
How do you handle it when the systems don't work? Troubleshooting is frustrating and the programs don't work the way it's supposed to be.
Uh, FE team, you go there as super as possible, so you have in your mind the architecture of the car. You know exactly uh, from one connector where it goes and to where. So you already know how the skeleton of the car is. So yeah, when it comes to troubleshooting, try to you have a lot of tools programs to help you troubleshooting it, and the software of the car gives already something that it's very filtered, so you can just go and find a problem in a specific area. But then yes, you need to have the experience, the knowledge, and also the proper tools to troubleshoot it properly. Most of the time they work very well. So we don't have to deal with slow programs or those kind of things. They are very proven things, and they usually work quite fine.
What are important factors for you choosing a team, new workplace in the world of motorsport?
That's quite of a good question, because sometimes people think that you are just moved by the money, and then you go somewhere else and they pay you more. You go straight away, which is not true, not the case. Um, when you are working in this kind of stressful environment, it's very helpful the way your relationship with your team. So the relationship you have with the people on your team is very important. So I would say one something I've looked in is how this team is seen from outside. This world is very small, and if you check for reference for one team, you find someone that did work in that team before, and can give you like another view of how the team is in terms of people. So that's one thing that I check a lot, and also uh, the growth evolution that you can have in that team. For example, if you go, I don't know, maybe you go to some really top team in Formula One, and you're doing one specific thing. Um, they will keep you doing that thing for ages, maybe. While if you go to some smaller team, they will allow you to develop more or to do more because there are not as many people as in a bigger team. So yeah, one thing I've looked at is how the development and the growth path that I can have in that team. But I think it's more important for the people you are working with and how you will be growing in that team in the future. More important than the money.
What is the thing you are most excited about every season as an engineer, but maybe also as a fan of the sport?
If it comes to Formula E, of course, where we are going to finish in the championship and how we are going to perform. That's the main thing. From Mahindra, we've been, let's say, lower part of the grid for a couple of years. Mahindra at the beginning of the Formula E didn't belong to that part, belongs to more mid to higher position in the grid. So we are trying to go back to that position. We have a pretty optimistic start of the season. So we are getting good points. We are getting good performance. We are improving. We are bringing updates every single race. So yeah, I think we are doing well. We are getting what we expected at the beginning. Yeah, basically it's what I look after more at the beginning of the season is where and how are gonna perform ourselves in the championship.
Yeah, I can imagine that you had like expectations for the new Gen 3 Evo. Does it meet your expectations of what it was supposed to happen?
Yeah, kind of, because at the end you cannot expect being the 10th team on Gen 3 and then fight for the championship 1 year after. We had a very bad season 9 and season 10 because we didn't have like the package that we've been expecting to have. We changed a lot of things. The powertrain is completely new. We changed many things, but then you have a limited time, so and a limited budget, so you can do what you can do. Even if we change everything, we knew that we will not be fighting for the championship because there's also something that you need to keep from one car to another. But yeah, we are matching more or less the expectation that we have to be in this mid part of the grid. For the moment, we are quite happy. Of course, we left some points in Mexico when Edo had the puncture in lap 5. I think it was also not being able to qualify in Jeddah left us in the last. We end up in a good position, but probably will could be better if we will be starting more in like in the front of the grid. But yeah, we are kind of matching what we expected from the beginning of the season, and of course we are bringing more stuff to improve and to be able to finish even higher on the grid at the end of the season. That's the target.
What is the most interesting car you have ever worked on?
I would say it's FE. It's the most complete car for sure, and it's I think it's one of the most complex car out there in the motorsport world, even more complex than F1, I would say. Yeah, I would say that the FE is quite interesting to work with.
I find it funny because I'm always I'm biased towards Formula E because gave open doors for me, but also it's good racing.
Yeah, very good racing actually. The cars are I don't know if people knows, but the car halfway equal to the rest of the team, so you can develop your rear powertrain and some stuff. But from the cockpit to the front of the car is the same. Obviously, when you have like the cars very similar, you end up having very good racing, very good races and also a lot of action on the track. So it's very fun to watch. I encourage people to see more FE because they will enjoy it.
I agree. I always tell people like it's great racing, and then they started talking about the sound. I'm like, but in real life, it doesn't sound like that.
Yeah,
And if it annoys you so that much, just put something else in the background.
yeah. I mean, people just go to watch F1 because the most mainstream is where all the gossips are and everything. But at the end, you end up having, yeah, not very special races. You end up seeing Norris, or a couple of years ago, Verstappen winning by 20 seconds ahead of the second one. So here in FE, you will not see a guy finishing more than 4 or 5 seconds, and that will be very unusual to see. Most of the races finish with one overtake in the last lap, in the last corner, three cars going wide at the last corner. It's very good racing, and also we've seen through the years that most of the championships have been decided on the last race. That's quite fun to see, and keeps the motivation to see the entire championship from the beginning.
I remember last year, I knew I was going to be in London, and I was in Spa when Portland was. So I was like, I hope it goes to London. And then Nick makes that mistake. I was like, oh my god, it is going to London.
Yeah, it went to
Always nice.
London, and it went through to the last race of London, and when everyone thought that or Cassidy or Evans will get the championship, it was end up being Pascal winning it. So yeah,
I remember that at some point on the Saturday, I was at the media center when the race started. I was like, I have so bad feeling that something is going to happen. And then Jake Dennis was like,
yeah,
trying to take everybody out. I was
yeah,
like, see, I told you guys, but nobody believed me. I didn't know what it was. I was like, I don't know, is something going to happen, but who it is and what it is, I don't know. And then someone asked in the evening, yeah, who do you think is going to win the championship? I was like, yeah, maybe I think my mind changed. I think it's Pascal, and he did. So
yeah, yeah. He did quite well. Obviously, Nick did a very bad mistake on Portland. Also, on the last race on London, he missed the attack mode, and I don't remember if it was Cassidy or Evans that missed the attack mode.
Mitch did miss the attack mode.
So he was leading, he missed the attack modes. Can happen, everything can happen.
Yeah, I remember we were like sitting in the media center and we were all watching and we were like, he missed the attack mode.
Yeah,
He just totally missed it.
yeah. To be fair, Jaguar had very complicated situation on that race to deal with Mitch or Nick being able to win the championship. But I feel like they could have done a bit more, to be honest.
I agree. Do
Is
you
it?
have any questions for me?
Yeah, sure. So as you, well, me, I'm trying to go into this kind of creating videos and reporting like a bit more from the races. How you like keep yourself motivated to be able to do videos every
That's a
single
good
race or
question.
every single day at some point?
Um,
Because I feel
that's a
quite
good,
hard
actually, good.
with the momentum of doing an editing and this creative process. I feel quite hard to do it, so I'm quite interested.
Yeah, I think like with the podcast, for example, I always like talking to people and learn more about people and what they do. So that helps. But TikTok, it's complicated. I have a team now, which is really nice. But it's always thinking about what is trend and what are we going to do, and
Yeah,
that's harder. But I mean, I like it. The girls like it, which helps as well. The most difficult part is thinking before going to a race. What do I want to do? Who want to do to interview beforehand? What kind of videos are like trending at the moment? But yeah, I love being trackside, so that works as well.
I can imagine. And what's the driver that you enjoy the most interview?
To be fair, I only have had interviewed 5 drivers, but Sam Bird is up there. Sam Bird is very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. This year it's been taken apart from Taylor from the rookie. I'm not sure how he's dealing with that.
I mean, I think Taylor is funny. If I look at their TikToks and stuff, I'm like, yeah, they're like the perfect duo. He's like the dad of Stu, so I think they're a great duo.
Yeah, yeah, they're quite fun. Agree. Quite fun. Quite good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest they're all nice, but I only had like 5 drivers I had interviewed. So
Hopefully you come to some more races this year. I'll always Nick or Edo are quite keen to give interviews. So hopefully you can interview them, European ones. Yeah.
and I hope that it's good weather in Monaco because last year on the Friday it was like pouring down.
Yeah.
And the media pen is outside.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I am not going to stand in the rain.
Yeah. Also, Monaco is quite hard race because everything happens in one day. Well, this year we have double header, but everything happens in one day. Or if you wanted to do quality and race, quite hard to be in Monaco. It's quite nice, but then you've been there for the whole week, not racing, not having the car on track. And then you end up in one day having everything. This year will be double header, so will be double the effort. But yeah, it's always very nice to go to Monaco and to see the track. I think it's a track that fits quite well from Lai. I mean, it's quite nice to be there.
I mean, I always say, tell people, if you want to see some racing in Monaco, you can go to Formula E. It's also very cheap
Yeah,
if you compare it to
yeah,
F1.
yeah, yeah. It's very good to see FE there. Because, for example, if you go to Berlin, you go to Tempelhof, and yeah, it's in the middle of an airport, and maybe it's not the funniest race to watch. But from like in Monaco, it's very nice to see. You can enjoy a lot, and also all the you can enjoy as well, like Monaco by itself.
I sat in front of the pit lane last year and the year before, and I'm telling people, I'm like, it's only 45 euros for one day. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what I would do.
It's funny how there's more fans uh, out there, like in non-European races of Hawaii, rather than European races. You go to Tokyo. I remember Tokyo last year on the race day. It was fully packed. Mexico is always packed because they I don't know why, but they love motorsport. They love whatever racing series. So they go crazy with Nick. I remember Shanghai was quite a decent amount of people watching Formula E. Was not expecting that amount. If you go out there and non-European races, you'll find more fans of Formula E or more people watching them on the grandstands rather than the European ones.
I remember that I think this was qualifying and like the free practice sessions. The grandstands are so empty and you're just sitting there alone.
Yeah, but one thing that Formula E cannot do is to put the free practice to at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sometimes I was like, oh no, I need to be up so early, like almost in the middle of the night to get where I need to be.
Well, imagine ourselves that we
Yeah,
get the car ready to go there. So normally we get up like at 4:30 to get to the track at 5:30, something like this, and then we go out at 7. But who will watch an FP at 7 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning? No one.
no,
That's something I don't really like about the F1. This kind of things that, for example, on Saturday happens everything, and you have F2 qualify and race in one day, and you need to get up like really early in the morning for doing like maybe 16 17 hours a day. That's one thing that no one tells you about motorsport. The long days, long nights. I will not say the worst conditions, but quite demanding conditions. You can have a crash, and then you end up needing to rebuild the car, and then you end up sleeping 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, I always say with social media, working motorsport is so glamorized. Sometimes I see people, and then this is about F1. People saying, "Yeah, they only work 3 days." I'm like, "Excuse me, they don't.
Yeah,
How do you mean? Do you think the car is in one piece?
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Like even the drivers are not there like 3 days. They are like 4 days there. So how do you mean 3 days? You see the 3 days, but they're definitely not working 3 days.
Never happens in 3 days. Like, it's the amount of work out of the camera. It's impressive. It's impressive. And people can think that whenever you finish FP1, for example, on Friday, you go to a hotel, but after FP1, you have all the debriefs, you have all the meetings. You need to take apart the car, rebuild it, put it back together, do all the checks, get the car ready for the next morning, and probably after the FP1, you end up being another 4 or 5 hours there in the track before you can go to the hotel. A smooth day. If you have any troubles, you can, well, then you don't know when you will going to the track, to the hotel.
Yeah, I always think like as me as someone who covers this for the media, and it's like we are also there long, but we're not as long on like track than you guys. So uh, I think with social, sometimes also with social media, the media side, people think, yeah, it's really nice. It's still hard work. I mean, I'm not working as hard as like the people of the teams, but
Right.
it's like there's no silent moment.
Yeah,
There's always something.
yeah. There's always something. Also, the media people from Mahindra works quite hard. Obviously, after whatever session, you need to prepare like all the pictures, you need to prepare all the media press, you need to prepare all the official statements and everything. So they end up being quite a lot as well on the tracks. Everyone is
Yeah.
working hard there.
I always like in London that did my first driver's interviews, and I was so nervous on Friday as well. Like I had to interview Mitch and Nick, and I was like, at some point, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm so nervous. My friends were like, "No, Jamie, you have to. You have no choice. You agreed to this, so you have to." And I'm happy I did it. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
you get there, you know you have like the media pen on the Friday before the race weekend, and you're preparing for that. And then after you had the media pen, you're editing, people are writing articles. Like it's not that glamorous as that everybody
yeah, exactly.
thinks it is.
If someone thinks that whatever work in motorsport it's easier, like they can get rid of that idea because it's not like everyone is working hard. Everyone.
Yeah. I'm always like, yeah. For me, it's already like stressful. I can imagine the people on the teams.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have more work.
but it's quite fun.
I like to be, as I said, I like to be trackside expert.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah,
I think like in the future, if you have any further question or anything else, we can do again 1 hour, half an hour, and discuss further. Maybe at the end of the season, I think it will be quite fun to
I think that there's a lot to talk about.
yeah to recap everything and to talk about how everything went. But yeah, uh, yeah, thank you for inviting me here. Quite fun. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I think, well, thank you to make time for me as well. It was great speaking with you. And for my listeners, if you don't follow us already on our socials, in the description of today's episode, you will find the link with all our socials and the WhatsApp groups for the European Formula E races. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time with another guest.